And good morning, Hoosier Nation. I remembered to have my mic on this time. And welcome to another victorious edition of Hoosier Morning After. This is Hoosier Morning After Notre Dame. Your Indiana Hoosiers go on yesterday to improve to 9-2 on the year in a game that's had its ups and downs, and it's kind of lead to a theme that we're going to have, I think, with this squad this year, and something we're going to have to get used to, the ups and downs, until we can get things evened out. But first 5 minutes kind of led to IU kind of trading baskets back and forth, some missed shots, and 4 turnovers early in the game on some bad passing. Just not good. Notre Dame got the lead up to 9. Guys finally decide to turn it on defense. About the 7-minute mark, the D ratchets down, and then the rest of the half, IU forced up to 2 shot clock violations and also holds Notre Dame to a scoring drought for the last 4 minutes of the half. The ball started to move a little bit more on offense, a little bit better, climbing to a 3-point lead in a half, which took that 30-27 on a 15-3 run by IU towards the end of the game there. Second half came out a little bit better, but had at the 10-minute mark in the second half, that weird segment there. What I would guess should be a flagrant foul against Trace Jackson Davis, which led to Parker jumping in there. And I struggle with this foul a lot because one, they ended up just calling a common foul on that. I didn't realize that when watching the game. I thought they called a flagrant one on the Notre Dame player and then called the technical on Parker, just kind of how the announcers explained it. Then similarly, like what happens on football, things can cancel each other out. So Trace takes his shots, then we should get the ball at that point. But then you consider then after that, then there was the T on Parker. So then therefore they get their shots and then they get the ball because that was the secondary thing that happened. Or if you want to say it, the 2 out of bounds cancel each other out. Trace Jackson Davis makes his shots, then they get the ball. I don't agree with that. Or actually, I think the way they did it in this was the common foul. Common foul would come up after you take care of the things on the technical. And anyways, what it led to at that point was quite a swing for the team. Now, I don't discount Parker for what he did, and I don't think it is as severe as the refs made it out to be. If they are going to downgrade what the Notre Dame guy did, they need to equally downgrade what Parker did to come in and push him off. Because in Parker's eyes, he saw his star player get fouled pretty hard and hit the floor. So then he's coming in because the guy that just fouled your guy is still leaning over him. Does Parker know that he's just trying to help him up and apologize for the foul, or is he screaming in his face? Is he still trying to get at Trace? Again, that's reading his mind, and you're in the moment and you're caught up. You just see your star player get fouled, and the guy that fouled him is still over him. So you're going to jump in there and back him up, and he very slightly pushes the guy out of the way. I mean, that's the weakest tee in the world. When guys get teed, on the team that I'm rooting for, I want them to go all the way. I want to get every bit of guilt or punishment, every bit of juice, I should say, out of that technical that they can. And that one wasn't earned enough. Anyways, what it really did for the team was IU had an 8-point lead that got dwindled down to a tie after that. It really kind of set the momentum up for Notre Dame. It set a fire. That guy kind of, as the announcers even kind of commented to this fact, and I agree with them on this, that it showed with him doing that foul that, no, I'm not going to let them have an easy basket. I'm not going to let them get this easy layup, because that's what Trace Jackson had he not been the intentional foul. And it juices your team to say, I'm not giving up. You better not give up. And that's what they did. And they were able to bring the game to a tie. And at the 7-minute mark, Race comes into the game. And Race was really that spark plug for the team this year. Overall, he has been. And in this game, he was as well. In the first half, when things were kind of struggling to get going and everything, it was when Race was out. And then when Race got back in, he was that spark plug that got things going. It was shortly after him coming in that he got that great steal. It was a bad pass turnover by Rob that led to a numbers. I believe they had 3-2 numbers on a fast break. Notre Dame did. And Race hustles back for a big guy and steals the ball, knocks it loose, and is able to grab it from the Notre Dame guy on that break. Now, if Notre Dame would have made that layup, then it would have tied the game 49-49, because it was 49-47 at that point. Instead, we go down and Rob hits a 3-pointer, putting IU up by 5. That's a 5-point swing right there of what could have been from that made layup. The game didn't get any closer than 5 after that point the rest of the game. That was a very key moment in that game last night. Race is a very important, like I said, a very important piece to this team. And excited he was the one to be able to be that spark to come in and get things going for this team. Because I feel like Trace Jackson Davis, at least at the beginning of this game, really kind of struggled to get his energy, to find that spark. First play was drawn up for him to get the ball underneath, and he had a great look. He had a great look on a layup, and he missed it. I like that. I like that the very first play that we run is to get him open. Love for it to be on an alley-oop or something high energy to really get him fired up. But I like getting him going early because the team goes the way he does. And he sets the tone. And in games we've seen this year, when we've been behind and we've needed that lift, when Trace gets that fire and that anger, you literally do see a little bit of anger in him. The team does a lot better and the team gets going. And he struggled at first. It just didn't seem the usual fire that was in him to start. But again, it's crazy to say that. And maybe it's the high expectations that we have as well as fans for him. He still ends the game with a double-double. He got things going. He found the rhythm. The passing got better. It really was the tale of two games. And I would also agree to say that being able to play Captain Hindsight, it's one of the greatest things we like to do as fans, is play Captain Hindsight. I really feel like we missed the two guys that were out, that weren't eligible for this game, be it injuries or other things going on. And my thoughts go out to you, Trey, and Bates family on this time of mourning that you're dealing with. But I feel like we could have used Scoop in this game. Not saying that he should have neglected that, but I'm just saying, playing Captain Hindsight and looking at what Scoop brings and also what Trey bring as players, and they bring that energy, that north-southness, that baseline drive. Didn't really see that much in this game. And I felt like there was a lot of passing on the outside when things were looking stale on the offensive side. We weren't aggressive. And those two guys are definitely aggressive when they're in there on the offensive end. So I feel like they were sorely missed from this team yesterday, and would have been great to have them in there. But what we learned from this game is when the offense struggles on this team, we can count on the defense, if they can get going and ratchet down, that the offense then finds themselves. Because that's kind of what happened. Again, Race came in and was that trigger on defense to ratchet down a little bit more and get things going for the team. And I really enjoyed that kind of energy that he brought. And it definitely set off the team to get going in this game. A negative that I want to talk about with us fans, I'm not really digging how hard we're being on Xavier Johnson. Did not like those boos for him when he took those three. That 1 3-point shot. Were they ill-advised? Yeah. Should he have waited more within the flow on some of those 3-point shots that he took? Yeah, probably. But I'm not fearful that that's something that's going to be a long-time problem. That's something that's coachable. And Race even said in the post game, if he goes 2 for 9, I'm telling him on that 10th shot to take it too. And you want that confidence, you want that energy, and it's that same theme that you've heard me talk about, and I even brought it up when I had Coach on this game, is what do you do when you have such an emotional player like Xavier is? And he is that guy that plays on that razor's edge, that fine line, both from a emotional standpoint as far as fouling. That's one thing that we've brought up with him. And now we bring up with the almost overconfident side to take so many of those shots. Now, Notre Dame might have been game planning against him a little bit because Notre Dame has seen him play since Pitt plays Notre Dame regularly. So they know they have some tape and some plan against him. So that might have been part of it, sagging off him. They know that his 3-point percentage isn't the highest and that he might be thirsty to take those. And I get that. But I want him to not be fearful to take those. He needs to edit himself a little bit. Yes, I agree. And only take those when we're 10 seconds or less in the shot clock. Don't take them too early. Let's work it around. See what we can find. Maybe drive a little bit and kick to Parker or someone else that might have a little bit higher percentage than you, and let's see how things can go. You still have to take a few of those, yes. By all means. Take 1 or 2 of those. But I don't like the constant narrative that we're having of being down on him. And again, point guard, you're the point guard, you're the leader of the team. You're going to have to shoulder some of that. And that's just going to be something that comes with that position, and it comes with that role, excuse me, as a player. And I think how it gets compounded, excuse me, take a drink of coffee here, on this team and with the fans on Twitter is because there is a thirst in the fans to get Lander in there and to see Lander play and everything. And I agree. I'd love to see Lander play. I'd love Lander to get a few more minutes. But Lander's still a freshman. And Coach, again, has said 100 times that he obviously favors defense. And defense is going to get you out there on the court. And while Lander's gotten better, he still struggles with it. And Coach Woody, Coach Fife, Coach Ya, Coach Hunter, Coach Hill know a lot better than I do. They know a lot better than you do. They have a lot more experience in basketball than I do, and a lot more experience in basketball than you do. And they also have seen Lander play a lot more than you or I have. So I trust them that they are playing him the proper amount of minutes that he needs to get and everything. Sure, let's still be supportive. That's not being too negative I don't mean that to say that in a negative way for Lander. And the argument always for people is, well, how's he going to get any better? What about the future? Well, they're worrying about building a team right now, building a culture, building these guys up to win. That, yes, it's a tough dance between to think about the future, but how much do you do that at the expense of today? Again, they're experienced guys making a lot more money than I am, and I choose to trust them. It's not to say that I'm going to come at a few games and say, I wish you would have had a few minutes here or a few minutes there. This game was still relatively close towards the end, so maybe he wasn't able to get in and get those minutes, or didn't have the coaches didn't have the comfort to get him in there. I mean, we played Rob and X quite a few minutes together. Notre Dame is smaller, and because the offense was struggling, would be my guess, coach felt like he needed a stronger defensive team in there. And having Rob and X in there at the same time does that. Because Notre Dame's Wesley was their best player and who they were going to quite a bit in this game. And you needed X and Rob in there, one to play their very good point guard, or their point guard that was good at driving, dribble drives, to keep them in front of them. And then you definitely needed one of those two guys on Wesley. So I believe that's why you saw so many minutes with them in this game. But yeah, I mean, looking at the box score, trying to look at moving on from that. I'm going to move on from that. I'm going to try not to have to go into depth too much about the Lander situation the rest of the year. Again, it's going to be a constant theme. It's going to constantly be coming up as we talk about things this year. But yeah, that's what it is. That's what it's going to be. The tone has been set. Let's move on, guys. Let's move on from there. Looking at the stats in this game, turnovers, again, tend to plague this team. 14 turnovers. 16 assists, at least. That's something great to see. Rob leading with assists, so did a great job of getting the ball in. An interesting person to look at stat-wise, too. I love the minutes that we've been getting from Anthony Leal. I love the extended minutes he's getting. If you want to talk about playtime that's happening right now that's going to benefit the future, it's Anthony Leal's minutes. Him getting all these minutes. Third year, fourth year Anthony Leal, it's going to be trouble. He's trouble right now. He's already doing those great things. He didn't score any points. He got 1-3 look. I think he had it from the side. I can't remember how much he missed it or not, but 3 assists, only 1 turnover, 1 steal. His defense looked a lot better. When he was rotated on the big guy, he did a good job of blocking him off and not allowing Notre Dame to use that size mismatch against him. Just moves the ball around, finds the open man. Was part of that beautiful play that we had where Trace kicked it out and the ball swung around, got down to Race again and back to Trace for the layup. Just good looking play. Great minutes for him, 16 minutes. Excited to see him get going, and hopefully he gets a little more spot up chances, a little more shots for him going through the game. Stewart got going a little bit in this game as well. 12 points, finished with the second highest points in the team. 3 for 4 from 3. If you look at his stat sheet, those of us that might be a little OCD or everything, it looks very nice because field goals 3 for 4, 3-pointers 3 for 4. Obviously, that's all of his shots. That's why the field goals are the same. And then 3 for 4 for free throws. Great symmetry there. That's fantastic to see. 3 rebounds, 2 fouls only, 4 turnovers, quite a few turnovers. He was careless with the ball at the beginning. Just some lazy passes from guys not locked in, not up on your toes. So you kind of see that when the offense wasn't quite clicking and the defense wasn't quite clicking. The team just wasn't quite on their toes enough or aware of themselves. Just a little bit of rust, I guess. But like the minutes that he had in there for us, Miller Kopp again, are another great shooter. 1 for 3, didn't get a lot of 3-point looks. Wish we would have drawn up a few more things to get them the ball. Trace struggled a little bit when he got double teamed and even almost triple teamed. I don't know if guys weren't rotating properly to get to the open position for him, to get a good line for him to find the open players. But those kickouts weren't there as much as we've seen in the past. Again, maybe that's Notre Dame game planning against IU to limit us to that. But again, an up and down game, an ugly game, but good to see IU take care of business when they needed to, and Race step in there and do what he can do and be the impact player that he is for this team and is going to be for this team moving forward. But we say goodbye to the Crossroad Classics. IU finishes with the best record. I think that it would have ended up 8-4 or 8-3 of all the teams in the Crossroads. I like the Crossroads and I don't like the Crossroads. I'm kind of a mixed bag with it. I like it for what it does for fans and just the sport overall. Allowing close to the holiday season a chance for the 4 marquee programs of the state to kind of get together at once and everyone come into Indy and play games and watch games and everything like that. It was interesting to see a little bit of the little brother syndrome from a few Purdue fans that hung in there and stayed and watched IU play, and you could see them cheering when IU had in the background there in the first half when IU made mistakes and everything. It's just I don't get it, guys. I don't get it. I really don't care that much about Purdue to take it that far. I mean, yeah, I'll look at their score and everything. I'll turn it on for a few split seconds because it's the game before our game. But it's in the background, and until we play them, I really don't care. They just care so much. It's tough. I feel bad for them. But anyways, IU replaces the Crossroads with something as a team and a schedule wise that's going to help them a lot more. The Kansas home and home situation going. That's going to be a great one. There's going to be some great games. Going to be some great resume builders for the tournament. Going to definitely move the needle as far as tournament wise. If it's a win, if it's a loss, it may not hurt as bad, but move the needle a lot more than a win at the Crossroads would do. Not to take anything away from this game, because obviously this game does bode well for the tournament resume. Like usual now, Notre Dame has had some pretty good games recently, beating Kentucky and everything. So now we root for Notre Dame to go out there and win out the rest of their season. Build that resume win for us. So yeah, just an up and down game. Again, still haven't had a 40-minute game from this team. Don't know if we've really had a 30-minute game from this team, at least against decent competition. But things that'll get ironed out. Coaching staff, I have all the faith in them of what they're going to do. Next game for IU is Northern Kentucky on Wednesday. That's at 7 p.m. I'm sure it's on Big Ten Network. Then the game after that is on the 29th. That's against UNC Asheville. It's a 7 p.m. one. I'm actually going to be able to go to that game. I'll be in attendance at that game, so we'll be up visiting family up in Indianapolis. So my wife and I will probably drive down for that game to see that game. We'll go out along Kirkwood before the game and everything, and then we'll be going to the game. So if you see me at the game, please come up and say hi and everything. I actually also had some stickers made, some Hoosier Morning After stickers made, so I'm going to bring these to the game as well. So if you see me, come up say hi, and ask for a sticker. I'll have one for you, definitely. So yeah, thank you for watching today, guys. That's gonna do it for this edition of Hoosier Morning After. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel if you're watching it on YouTube. Go over to Facebook also. I also made a Facebook group. You can also watch it there on Facebook. Like that one as well for me if you can. I'll be back again Thursday after the Northern Kentucky game. Special thanks to Bob Thompson for producing the music you hear on the show. We'll be back again, like I said, the morning after the next game. Until then, guys, go out there, have a wonderful day, and as always, go Hoosiers.